Welcome back to the channel, Lancers. I hope that everyone enjoyed their weekend and maybe even got some Anthem game time in. Before I forget, if you enjoyed this video and find it helpful, then like and subscribe for more Anthem content. Also, share the video and help spread positive support for Anthem and the upcoming content, The Cataclysm. Today's loadout for the Interceptor is one of my top 2 favorites. I've always enjoyed unleashing my fire in the games that I've played and in life itself. So long ago, I came up with a quote that fit my view on this. Stars that burn the brightest also burn the shortest, but never be afraid to let your fire burn. So with this loadout, let's burn fire hot. Now the Interceptor initially began as the gadgeteer of the javelins, and I believe that it still is. This loadout displays my philosophy of that. In fact, the loadout is so fun to use that you'll find yourself not wanting to use your ultimate, but your gear and weapons instead. The strategy that we will employ here is simply to apply fire status effects to as many enemies as possible. Our primary tactical play will be to detonate combos to activate our fire aura, then target enemies with our melee attacks to spread the burning fire effect. Our secondary play is gadget based, which still allows us to utilize our fire status effects efficiently. We will position ourselves safely, close to the enemy, then draw them near. Then, we will ignite the first enemy that enters our line of sight, detonate a combo with melee, then retreat back to our same position. Then we can utilize our Shadow Claw strike systems to spread the fire effects to remaining targets. A pro tactic with the Shadow Claw is to draw the enemy to you around a corner and time the projection from the Shadow Claw to meet them as they enter your line of sight. The projection will then travel to a nearby enemy as well. The Ruthless Stalker assault systems will be used as heavy burst damage to finish off enemies from close to mid-range. As you can see with this build, we are equipped for both close and mid-range fighting with many options. When the enemy sees us approaching and burning red hot, it's already too late for them. We will maintain our fire aura to keep it pulsing with the Rauner's Blaze. Remember, when detonating a combo as the Interceptor, the javelin pulses an aura of the primer used around the javelin. Being in close proximity to enemies with an aura damages them respectfully to the aura's effects, i.e., fire burns, ice freezes, lightning chains, and acid debuffs. Our primer here is fire. Our secondary weapon will be the close encounter heavy pistol. It is used only when we are pressed in a corner and need to lay down a heavy bullet barrage to give ourselves breathing room for something like a shield refresh, or to reload our Rauner's Blaze, or to buy a few moments for an ultimate recharge. The rate of fire on this heavy pistol is insane. This build is not about inscriptions as much as it is about utilizing our javelin's innate abilities and our components' signature effects and perks. But proper inscriptions take this build to another level. You only need a few key inscriptions before you will start to notice the efficiency. For our components' inscriptions, we will be stacking armor, shields, melee damage, gear damage, shield refresh or delay, and ultimate speed, because we will be in close quarters, hand-to-hand combat, in and out of our ultimate state, and at mid-range with our gear and guns. Melee damage increases the Interceptor's ultimate and melee gear as well. Also with the Interceptor, the faster you move, the faster your shields regenerate. So we will be blazing enemies with not only our fire, but with our speed as well. Regarding the support systems, in some of the gameplay you'll notice that I've been using Target Beacon. However, after extensive play with the loadout, I've since changed to Rally Cry. I feel that status effects are a dangerous enough threat that it is needed. And after the Cataclysm update, the Masterwork and Legendary upgrades to Rally Cry will complement the loadout even better, as we will be able to revive teammates with this system, which, in essence, adds to our mobility, which is vital to this build. I hope that you've enjoyed the gameplay. I really had a blast recording this footage. This build is great for solo and team play in Grandmaster 3. The melee damage coupled with the pulsating fire damage eliminates enemies so quickly. I'm really looking forward to using this loadout during the Cataclysm. I have a tips and tricks tutorial video coming out soon that will help us with the time attack aspect of the Cataclysm. I'm really looking forward to earning as many of the new rewards and gear as I can when it launches. Well, enjoy the rest of the gameplay, and remember to like and subscribe, as it really does help the channel. After the next clip, we'll head into the lion's den so that we can see how this all works. For our primary weapon, we have the Rauner's Blaze, which is the upgraded hammerhead, hardest hitter in the assault class. Ignites the target while on a hit streak of 5. Key inscriptions, plus 25% weapon damage, which applies to all weapons, plus 105% weapon magazine size, which applies only to this weapon, plus 18% weapon aim, which again applies only to this weapon, and plus 21% overall damage boost for the entire javelin. For our secondary weapon, we'll be using the Close Encounter. Upgraded Barrage. Delivers an excellent rate of fire. Scout's Fury. Dashing increases weapon damage by 125% for 10 seconds. Key inscriptions. Plus 27% damage boost for the javelin overall. Plus 135% weapon magazine size, which applies only to this weapon. Plus 75% weapon ammo, again only for this weapon. And plus 100% weapon damage, which applies only to this weapon. Next, we'll be moving on to our strike system. We'll be using the Shadow Claw. Upgraded Wraith Strike. Projects Ghost to target. Launches 2 Wraith projections that seek enemies. Key inscriptions, which apply only to this weapon, plus 200% gear damage. Plus 28% weapon damage, which applies to all weapons attached to the javelin. Plus 20% assault rifle damage, which applies to our Rauner's Blaze, and plus 75% gear damage, which applies only to this gear. Now moving on to our assault system, Ruthless Stalker, the upgraded Searching Glaive. Thrown gadget seeks out target. Striker's Fury, hitting an enemy increases weapon damage by 110% for 20 seconds. Key inscriptions, plus 25% gear damage, which applies to all gear. Plus 38% ammo drop rate, plus 8% repair amount, and plus 50% gear damage, which applies only to this gear. For our components, first we'll be using Emergency Power, an inscribed component that augments Javelin ultimate gear and increases damage by 30% of base damage. Ultimate meter refills instantly when armor is critically damaged, can occur once every 120 seconds. Key inscriptions, plus 90% armor max, plus 9% bonus damage boost for the javelin overall. Next, we have the Talisman of Power. Increases strike system damage by 10%. Any right button hit increases left button damage by 60% for 10 seconds. So once we hit our enemy with Shadow Claw, then the Ruthless Stalker will have a 60% damage increase for 10 seconds. Key inscription, plus 28% ultimate speed, plus 8% repair amount. Our next component, the Way of Resolve, increases Interceptor melee damage by 10%. Dashing increases melee damage by 40% for 10 seconds. Key inscriptions, negative 18% shield delay, plus 7% weapon magazine size. Our next component, Way of the Bold, increases aura combo pulse strength by 40%. Defeating an enemy with a melee restores 40% armor. Key inscriptions plus 12% repair amount. Moving on, Vengeance Matrix increases all damage dealt by 50% and damage taken by negative 25%. On low armor, damage taken is reduced by 50% for 10 seconds. Key inscriptions, minus 19% effects duration, plus 33% ammo drop rate. For our final component, Soften Blows, increases javelin shields by a large amount, increases damage resistance by 75% for 5 seconds when shields run out. Key inscriptions, plus 25% gear damage, which applies to all gear, plus 18% gear recharge, which applies to all gear. For our support, we'll be using Rally Cry, breaks you and allies free of all status effects. Key inscriptions, plus 100% combo aura effect, plus 8% ammo pickup amount, plus 40% pickup radius. For our quick overview, SuperNova. For our weapons, we have Rauner's Blaze in the primary slot, Close Encounter for the secondary. For our gear, Shadow Claw, Ruthless Stalker, and Target Beacon. For our components, Emergency Power, Talisman of Power, Way of Resolve, Way of the Bold, Vengeance Matrix, and Soften Blows. And again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe and turn on notifications. I'll see you in the next video.